Welcome back to the final part of our journey through ancient Greece. From the weary embers of Greece's internal wars, a brilliant star ignited in the north. A young king whose unquenchable ambition would redraw the maps of the known world, blending cultures in a grand tapestry of innovation and wonder. This final chapter weaves a saga of triumphant marches across deserts and mountains, dazzling fusions of East and West, and the bittersweet twilight of an era that scattered Greek seeds far and wide. Yet, as with all great flames, the brighter they burn, the sooner they fade, leaving behind a legacy that whispers through time. Let's follow Alexander's path, step by epic step, and uncover how one man's dream reshaped civilizations. Our tale turns to Macedon, a land of hardy hills and fierce clans often dismissed by southern Greeks as rough barbarians. Here, in 359 BCE, Philip II claimed the throne amid chaos, his brothers slain in battle, the kingdom teetering on invasion's edge. Philip, a hostage in Thebes during youth, had learned Greek tactics intimately, and he wielded that knowledge like a sharpened blade. He reformed the army from ragtag bands into a machine of precision. Peasants, trained as phalangites, gripped 18-foot sarissas, their iron tips forming an impenetrable hedge that could skewer foes from afar. Companion cavalry, elite nobles on sturdy steeds, flanked with lances gleaming. Philip tested this force against Illyrian tribes, crushing them in bloody ambushes amid misty forests, then turned south. Diplomat as much as warrior, Philip sealed alliances with marriages. 7 wives, including the enigmatic Olympias from Epirus, whispered to sleep with snakes and dance in Dionysian rites, her wild spirit mirroring the untamed north. Gold from Pangaean mines filled coffers, buying mercenaries and bribing rivals. By 338 BCE, at Chaeronea, Philip's phalanx clashed with allied Athenians and Thebans on a sun-baked plain, the sarissas lowering like a storm cloud, pushing back hoplites in a grind of sweat and screams, Demosthenes' warnings of barbarian threat proven true as Greece fell under Macedonian heel. Philip forged the Hellenic League, a united front against Persia, but fate twisted cruelly. At his daughter Cleopatra's wedding in 336 BCE, amid torch-lit feasts and flowing wine, bodyguard Pausanias lunged with a dagger, blood spraying across golden robes. Whispers of plots, Olympia's jealousy, Alexander's involvement, hung like smoke, but the throne passed to a 20-year-old prodigy. Alexander, with his mismatched eyes, one blue, one brown, and flowing locks like a lion's mane, was no ordinary heir. Tutored by Aristotle in shady Mieza groves, he absorbed philosophy, science, and Homer's epics, taming the wild stallion Bucephalus as a boy, a omen of conquests to come. Ascending amid suspicion, he swiftly executed plotters, their heads rolling in palace courtyards, then quelled rebellions. Thebes revolted, and Alexander razed it utterly. Walls toppled, houses aflame, 6,000 slain, survivors chained into slavery as a grim warning. With Greece cowed, he turned east in 334 BCE, crossing the Hellespont with 40,000 troops, tossing a spear into Asian soil to claim it by conquest, his army a mix of grizzled Macedonians and Greek allies hungry for glory. The first clash came at the Granicus River, swift and icy, where Persian satraps arrayed with cavalry on the banks. Alexander charged headlong, his plume bobbing as lances pierced, nearly dying from an axe blow deflected by a comrade, blood mixing with water in a frenzy that scattered the foe. Pressing on to Gordium, he faced the ancient knot tied to a wagon, prophecy promising Asia's rule to its unraveler. Impatient, Alexander drew his sword, slicing through in a bold stroke, declaring destiny bent to will. crowds cheering as omens aligned. Deeper into Persia, at Issus in 333 BCE, narrow defiles hemmed the battlefield, Alexander outflanking Darius III's vast host despite illness from a chill dip in the Cydnus River. Macedonian wedges hammered the lines, Alexander spearing toward Darius's gem-encrusted chariot, the king fleeing in panic, abandoning his mother Sisigambis, wife Stateira, and daughters in a tent of silken luxury. Golden baths, perfumed cushions, treasures untold. Alexander treated them with chivalry, earning loyalty as he besieged coastal strongholds. Tyre defied him 7 months, its island walls mocking from the sea. Engineers built a mole of rubble and timber, catapults hurling stones, soldiers enduring arrows and boiling sand poured from heights. When breached, fury unleashed, 8,000 slain, 30,000 enslaved, the city a pyre signaling resistance's cost. Gaza fell next, its governor Battus dragged behind a chariot like Achilles' Hector, skin tearing on rocks. The pinnacle came at Gaugamela in 331 BCE, on vast plains under a lunar eclipse that spooked troops. Alexander rallied them with Aristotle's science. Facing perhaps 100,000 Persians with scythed chariots and elephants, he feinted right, drawing a gap, then charged with companions straight at Darius, dust choking the air, trumpets blaring. Chariots bogged in traps, elephants rampaged wildly. Darius bolted again, his empire fracturing. Babylon surrendered in splendor, its hanging gardens cascading green, ziggurats piercing skies. Alexander hailed as king, feasting in opulent halls. Egypt welcomed him as liberator. In Memphis, crowned pharaoh amid Nile rituals, he trekked to Siwa's oracle through blistering sands, declared Zeus Ammon's son, ram horns added to his icons. Founding Alexandria at the Delta, he envisioned a hub of learning. Grid streets, harbors bustling, a lighthouse rising to guide ships with mirrored flames, pyramids shadowing this new beacon. Persepolis, Persia's ceremonial heart, fell next, its Apadana Hall with 72 bull-topped columns hosting parades of tribute-bearers from afar. In a night of revelry, spurred by courtesan Thais, torches ignited, cedar roofs roaring, tapestries vanishing in smoke, gold melting like rivers, avenging Athens's ancient burning, though Alexander later regretted the destruction. Ambition drove further, across snowy Hindu Kush in 329 BCE, troops frostbitten, avalanches claiming stragglers to Bactria, where he wed Roxana, raven-haired daughter of a lord, her fierce beauty sealing alliances in torchlit ceremonies blending Greek and Persian rites. Rebellions flared, Spatamina's guerrilla raids in Sogdia, forcing sieges of cliff fortresses scaled by daring climbers. India beckoned in 326 BCE, monsoons drenching the Hydaspes River, where King Porus arrayed with 200 war elephants, tusks spiked, bells jingling, mahouts directing from howdahs. Alexander crossed at night, phalanx holding against charges that trampled men into mud, archers felling beasts. Victorious, he admired Porus's stature, reinstating him as ally over feasts of spiced meats. But at the Hyphasis, troops mutinied. Homesick, battered by jungles and serpents, Alexander sulked in his tent like Achilles, then relented, building altars to mark the edge. Retreat down the Indus brought Malian sieges, Alexander leaping walls alone, arrow piercing his lung, comrades shielding as he bled, surgeons cutting deep in a tent lit by lamps, his survival deifying him further. Gedrosian desert claimed thousands to thirst, sands swallowing wagons. In Babylon by 323 BCE, planning Arabian seas, fever struck, malaria, poison, or exhaustion. Delirious on purple-draped bed, generals pressed for heirs. His cryptic, "To the strongest," unleashed chaos. At 32, the unconquered died, body honey-embalmed in golden sarcophagus, and shipped to Alexandria. Empires splintered in Diadochi wars, bloodbaths of ambition. Ptolemy seized Egypt, blending pharaonic crowns with Greek rule. Nile barges gliding past temples. Seleucus claimed Syria and East, amid Persian satrapies and ziggurats. Cassander gripped Macedon after poisoning Alexander's kin. Antigonus and Demetrius clashed in epic battles like Ipsus, elephants thundering, alliances shifting like sands. Yet from fragments bloomed Hellenism, Greek as common tongue from Mediterranean to Indus, cities sprouting with agoras and theaters. Alexandria's library amassed 700,000 scrolls, scholars pouring under palms, Museion fostering genius. Euclid axiomatized geometry, proofs of circles and theorems etched on papyrus. Eratosthenes measured Earth's girth with well shadows and strides. Archimedes in Syracuse spiraled water pumps, levered worlds. Eureka leaping from baths amid siege engines defending against Romans. Art evolved. Realism in portraits, Hellenistic drama in sculptures like the winged Victory alighting on Samothrace's prow, drapery whipping in marble winds, Laocoon writhing with suns in serpent coils, faces twisted in agony. Theaters in remote Bactria staged Sophocles, while Gandhara Buddhas adopted Greek curls and togas, enlightenment draped in classical folds. Economies thrived on silk roads, caravans snaking deserts with Chinese fabrics, Indian spices, African ivory flowing to ports like Antioch, merchants haggling in polyglot bazaars. Standardized coins bore Alexander's Heracles guise, fostering trade. Societies shifted. Women like Ptolemaic queens Arsinoe co-ruled. Coins minted with cornucopias. Mystery cults of Isis lured initiates with torchlit promises of afterlife, blending Osiris's resurrection with Orphic hymns. Daily life. Hellenized, gymnasia echoed with wrestlers' grunts in Persian palaces, baths steamed in Syrian towns, philosophers debated Stoicism in Ephesus colonnades, Zeno teaching virtue amid storms of fate. Medicine advanced, Herophilus dissecting in Alexandria, mapping nerves and hearts. Astronomy with Hipparchus charting stars, precessing equinoxes. But cracks widened. Endless wars drained treasuries. Corruption festered in bloated bureaucracies. Rome, that wolf from the west, eyed the east. Legions in Laurica segmentata advancing methodically. At Pydna in 168 BCE, Roman flexibility shattered Macedonian sarissas, phalanx buckling like reeds. Greece fell by 146 BCE. Corinth's sack a inferno of looted temples. Statues carted to Rome. Seleucids crumbled to Parthian horsemen. Arrows whistling from saddles. In Egypt, Cleopatra VII, last Ptolemaic spark, embodied the blend, Greek erudite, Egyptian goddess, speaking tongues, seducing Julius Caesar with wit and pearls dissolved in vinegar, birthing Caesarion amid Nile opulence. With Mark Antony, she dreamed revival, twins named Sun and Moon, but Octavian's fleets at Actium in 31 BCE dashed hopes. Galleys ramming, flames leaping, Antony's sword self-inflicted. Cleopatra, throne adorned in emeralds, chose the asp's bite, venom coursing as Rome annexed the last Hellenistic jewel. Yet defeat was victory in disguise. Romans, admirers, absorbed Greek essence, Virgil echoing Homer, emperors quoting Plato, aqueducts and forums mimicking Hellenic grace. Knowledge fled to Byzantine libraries, Arab scholars translating Aristotle, sparking Islamic Golden Age, then Renaissance rebirth. Michelangelo chiseling like Phidias, Galileo peering through Hellenistic lenses. Today, democracy debates in parliaments echo Athenian assemblies. Philosophy probes ethics in classrooms. Olympics revive ancient flames. Even space probes bear Greek names. Odyssey orbiting, Apollo landing. Greece's Hellenistic blaze, though quenched, kindles eternal. What undiscovered sparks from this ancient fire light your path? Chase your own conquests in history's vast empire. Thanks for joining us on this journey. We hope to see you next time.